There were a variety of bills which resulted in various tax credits or tax deductions for business passed early in this session. The major reason, or one of the major reasons why we have this huge budget crisis, is we are not generating income and sales tax dollars like we used to, and that's because Wisconsin has what is perceived to be a bad business climate.
The corporations should pay their fair share. We've made enough sacrifices.
I can disagree with them, but last year Forbes magazine ranked Wisconsin 48th best state in the country to do business.
There's better ways to make money than firing the people that work for you. You know what I mean? You can tax the rich, for instance. You can tax corporations. You can do all kinds of things.
Obviously, as long as Forbes magazine ranks as 48th best in the country, we have a problem as far as getting in new income tax revenues.
It's time that we redistribute the wealth.
Governor Walker is, right after he was elected, as well as when he introduces his budget, going to do a variety of things to make Wisconsin more business friendly.
Taxing the rich is the only solution to our predicament right now. They've got the money. We gave it to them in the bailout. They take it from us every day.
One of those things is to pass more tax deductions or tax credit for business.
The rich have not been taxed properly in the last 40 years. And if the tax rate's been going down for them, even with that, they have their battery of accountants and lawyers where they still get their tax down even lower. They're just not paying their fair share.
One of the first bills that Walker passed was a $140 million tax cut given to corporations, and then a month later he was looking for $137 million from teachers to try to balance the budget. And what's the point? It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong.
This is an absolute necessity to get us off of 48th and near the middle of the pack of other businesses. And I anticipate Governor Walker will have more changes in business tax law in the budget he's going to introduce in a few days. What Governor Walker wants, though, is to say that just like anywhere else in the world, if you tell the employee to do something or say, I want you to perform a different function today, that employee does it. We don't have to go through the union to go through that.
That's why I put him in office, and I trust him, and God bless him.
I don't think the average person is aware what collective bargaining means. It means that I can hire somebody for $50,000 or $70,000 a year, but if the boss says, I want you to do something different today, you can say, I don't want to do that, it's not in the contract. Well, we've got to operate more efficiently here. And I think most of your listeners probably do not work in a union environment. When they go to work, they do what the boss says. They don't realize that in many of these governmental agencies, and one reason why our taxes is so high is because what the employee does is subject to what the union signs off on. And we just can't have that anymore.
I'm so frustrated because he's not willing to sit down and negotiate and listen to the other side of things.
In some cases it may mean, can we hire another employee or do we have to give you overtime? It may mean, can we restrict your overtime? It may mean, can we ask you to do a different job function? All these things that any other employee anywhere else under the state would take for granted if his boss told him he could do it or couldn't do it. If you're in a union environment, you've got to negotiate. And people say, well, why don't you negotiate? There's things that maybe a city or a school district has wanted its employees to do for decades and haven't got them to agree to it. Why are they going to agree to it now?
We're honestly not putting a bill out that we have to pass at 3 o'clock in the morning. We tried to do it in open session last Friday, as yesterday, and Thursday. The Senate decided to walk out in the process and go to Illinois, as you know. So at that point, the state Senate was unable to proceed with passing that legislation in its present form. As far as, if you remember, the health care bill was voted on a Sunday morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's tried to do that.
And like I said, I think most of your listeners would find it foreign, the idea that if you go to work and your boss asks you to do something that's not illegal, that's not overly stressful, it's not, you know, a danger to health, you can just say no and expect to stay there. And we've got to change that.
I think we understand that the state may be in trouble, and helping out that way is not a bad thing. I think collective bargaining is important, because if you take a look at the National Labor Relations Act of 1935, which the private sector has, they are able to collectively bargain. That's one of the cornerstones of that act. Wisconsin unions have had the right, public sector unions have had that right for 40 to 50 years. People worked hard to get those rights, and to just give them away and bargain away, to not be able to bargain for our rights, to not talk about things in the workplace, to not talk about curriculums, to not talk about classroom sizes and things that affect education on my aspect, I think that's wrong. And to just bargain it away in 7 days, say we're going to do this bill, let's ram it through, I think that's wrong. That's fundamentally wrong, and it's not the way that our government should work.
I've never seen a governor insult us in this way before. It's very upsetting. I think that people don't understand the sacrifices that teachers make every day, and I think that they don't understand that we already take pay cuts and freezes every single year in order to keep teachers in the classroom, in order to keep our class sizes small, in order to keep things safe for the children. And if you take away